Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Drunk WandaVision Reviews. I am here.
Welcome back to Movie Positive.
Yeah. Movie Positive.
This is Joe, Pat. This is this random guy we found on the street. We thought he liked the show, and we just figured, hey, you want to review the show with us?
This is our homeless friend. He lives down the street.
Yeah. It seemed neat.
We'll start it off today. We're going to review WandaVision, obviously, episode 8 of season 1. And Tyler doesn't know this. We normally reviews, they start off and they lead into it. We go right to the parts we want to talk about. Right. I'm gonna go right to the fucking end credit scene because I have so many goddamn questions to ask and it's driving me insane. Okay, so we saw the end credit scene of them redoing Vision, right? Mm-hmm. And then we also cut back to Wanda kind of making Vision. So the big question I have, where I kept saying to you guys I have so many questions, is remember in episode 4 or 5 where Hayward said, about 9 days ago, Wanda stole Vision's body? That's the big question I have. Is that video fake?
That video
Did he just fake that? Did Wanda fake that?
So here's what I find really interesting about that, is this episode almost goes the route of vindicating Hayward. It almost goes the route of making him not the villain, but there still is that question in the mind of, that footage is most likely not real. Why would he fake that footage?
Why did he alter that?
And one of my really interesting things that I've been thinking about is this like old video games, like, you know, where you have like the Nega version of a character? Yeah. Like, are we gonna have like a Wanda version versus Nega?
Yeah, like a Vision versus Wanda's version of Vision.
Like Nega Vision versus original Vision.
The way that they filmed it, it was very clearly meant to draw your attention to how different the reality of what happened was compared to what Hayward showed everybody else.
Yes, he's lying.
Exactly.
It's very clear that he's lying.
He has to be.
And we always thought, like, throughout I think you and I have said this too, like, we've always thought Hayward was up to something.
He was
so clearly,
but
like,
it's incredibly obvious, but
it's like, what he's doing
is it, though?
Exactly. It doesn't seem as nefarious as before, but this Nega Vision is very interesting. This colorless Vision is an interesting character.
Because you can understand where these people are coming from. They endured the snap. They went through those 5 years or 4 years or whatever where people were gone. Yeah. And then they clearly blamed, you know, the superpowered individuals.
Yeah, I thought they did a really good job in this episode of showing that from Wanda's perspective, where she goes to Hayward and she's like, I know that this has been years for you, but this was just a little while ago.
Yeah, and also we'll explore it more in the future Marvel projects, but in this one I think he said it to Monica in like episode 4, like, it's very different from someone who did get blipped and who didn't. Because the person who did get blipped, it only was them, was like 20 minutes.
Perspective is everything.
But the other people had to sit there for 5 years.
And if you remember, Maria Rambeau says she felt like she fell asleep for a short nap. Yeah. I must have been asleep for 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, Monica Rambeau.
Monica. I keep doing it. Hey, this is Drunk Reviews. Welcome to getting names mixed up. Yeah. This happens. But but like, if it felt like to her that she was only asleep for 20 minutes, and even Spider-Man and Endgame is like, do you remember when I got all dusty? And then Doctor Strange said, we gotta go here, we gotta do. Like, to the people that blipped, they were right back in here. Yeah. And which begs the larger question is, in the Marvel Universe, is there a heaven? Moving on. It's a very large philosophical question.
The opening scene of Agatha Harkness doing her actual origin story of the Salem witch trial. That was such a fucking great. That was such a good villain origin. Yes. It was only like 4 or 5 minutes. It was so quick and
I'm still
right on the
whether or not she is a villain.
I think she is.
She is. She's not the mastermind behind it.
Well,
but
no,
she's trying.
Well, in this episode, we are led to believe that, like everybody's been saying, Mephisto. Who knows how Wanda got here?
Who knows?
And you've been saying for a long time that Wanda's at her most powerful when she's super emotional, and they show us in this that, you know, this very well may just be Wanda. Yeah. Which begs a million questions about Peter.
Yeah, Peter, which I will get to, but the question I have with Agatha Harkness is, how did she get there?
Well, she said that she's in this episode, she mentions that she got like a blip on her radar, sort of like a lot of spells happening all at once.
It was probably when maybe
she
Wanda
sort of sensed it.
Yeah, when Wanda, like, we saw her as the full Scarlet Witch.
And she seems to be there asking the question of what actually happened. Now, this is just coming to my head. If you remember, she keeps making those doors come up, and she's making Wanda walk through them. Yeah. When we see Wanda create the hex, Wanda creates that door.
Yes.
Harkness doesn't. So there still might be something there that we don't quite know. There still might be somebody else involved.
Yes.
But if through that episode, it's Agatha that's saying, you need to walk through this door, you need to walk through this door. But when we get to that moment with Vision and we get to all that with the New Jersey and the Westview and shout out New Jersey, this being shot New Jersey, fuck you New Jersey. But when all this is happening, it's like that door, when that door shows up, Agatha goes, well, she turns her head.
Yeah, she's not aware
She
of
didn't
that.
create that door.
No.
Wanda did.
No.
So how reliable is that perspective?
I'm not entirely sure. I have so many. See, with this episode, it answered so many questions. It was like Lost. It also has created like 10 million more new questions that I really have no idea.
My favorite shows are like that. Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, something from this has to matter because otherwise it is just a waste of time. So, so this has to mean something.
You can have an intentional waste of time.
You can.
She might be trying to, red herring Agatha. She could be trying to throw Agatha in the wrong direction so that Agatha's not aware of where this is actually coming from.
If that is Wanda actually doing that, then that would be clever. But there was so much emotional input put into there that you don't waste that on.
We didn't touch on the book at all.
Yeah,
last episode we came in and there was a book that looked like from the library.
Yeah, we know that. That's from the
Doctor Strange library.
The Sanctum
Sanctorum.
Yeah. So I think Agatha took that book.
Wong fucked up. He let a book get out of it.
Here's the thing. Did Wong... Wait, here's the thing, though.
She's 400 years old.
We didn't know that. Did Wong get blipped? We do not know if Wong got blipped or not. Because he does come in Endgame at the very end. But maybe when Wong was at the Avengers facility, when he brought everyone back, that's when Agatha... Because there's because where we're at right now, there's only about 9 or 10 days since Endgame.
That being said, as well, the Sanctum Sanctorum is the Sanctum Sanctorum is thousands of years old, and we've established in this episode
so she
that Agatha is at least 400 years old.
Yeah, so she could have taken that at some point.
It could have happened. I do like that theory.
Yeah, but the theory of her taking it while Wong was not there.
Yeah. I think Agatha knows more than she's pretending to know, but I think what she's most interested in how this is being pulled off. Because as a witch, this is a flex of power that is so great and large and powerful. And she's been around for 400 years. She's never seen anything like it. So I think mostly Agatha there is for the same reason that we're here watching the show, which is what is going on? How did you do this? How does it affect the universe? She's the same questions we had. Yeah. Which is interesting. We did the Jimmy Woo, the Darcy episode.
Which was a lack of in this episode.
They were prosed. They were prosed with the same questions.
There was no Jimmy Woo. That's why I don't like this episode.
Prosed with the same questions that we were, which was great about it, is they were put in the seat of the viewer. But Agatha in this episode, even though she has this 400 years of knowledge, is almost put in the same seat as the viewer, where she's like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. She has a sympathetic backstory to some degree. Do we know all of it? Clearly not. There were clearly things that led up to the events that we saw in the opening. So is she completely sympathetic? Or
she did some dark side shit.
Yeah, exactly. So
she committed matricide. She killed her mother,
Yes.
Although her mother was trying to kill her too. So
it's self-defense.
Exactly. So what happened before that?
Perfectly balanced as all things should be.
Well, let's cut to the actual aesthetic of the episode, which we've gotten the sitcom aspect each episode, different era, but this was this was a kind of show me your life kind of episode.
This explanation of why Wanda went with the sitcom.
And honestly, I got
the episode was perfect.
Yeah, and honestly, I know I'm a Marvel nerd and I like this more than most people, but I got very emotional just seeing the actual origin of Wanda and
me too.
Seeing her throughout the years and the actual aesthetic of that. The big thing she did with her family was watching TV shows. That was a big part of it.
And he opens the VHS thing, and it's I Love Lucy, it's The Witch, and then she's watching with Vision, she's watching Malcolm in the Middle.
I did not think that they were going to explicitly state that. And
I love
I'm happy that they did.
And as someone who's a big, I know you guys are too, a big TV watcher and a big movie fan, just seeing that actually, that hit me very hard.
It's because it's a part of you. It's a part of us. It's it's the reason the three of us have been friends. The reason the three of us have been friends for so long is that has been matched through our love of film and television.
Yeah.
And all of us and all of you watching this, if you're nerdy enough to be watching this, I would imagine that your love for film and television runs deep to your core. And like that shit, are you tearing up?
I'm tearing up. I was very emotional. I liked it. I'm really drunk.
But no, but it really
even Agatha at one point like just went like this with her tear, and in the back of my mind I was like, I hear you, Agatha. Yeah,
I like, and now we finally fully understand Scarlet Witch.
We finally fully understand Wanda's backstory. We fully understand the Scarlet Witch. And the way they did it was really cool. And to cut to the part where she actually gets her powers, the visuals in that scene where she actually touches the stone, and then she actually gets her hat and stuff.
Agatha does
interesting.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
Agatha does imply that she had her powers first.
Exactly.
Yes, and there was that scene. Yeah,
really interesting.
I forgot about that
because they say that everybody has died in their studies with Loki's scepter, but she survived. Why did she survive? And then Agatha's asking, why did that bomb never blow up? Why did
She's like, it didn't go off. She's like, she said you used like some type of spell.
Use a hex. Now, and then at the end of this episode, just very quickly, she says, at the end of this episode, she goes, you have been prophesized, and you were always a matter of myth, but now you are the Scarlet Witch. The first time we've ever actually said out loud the name Scarlet Witch.
Sure.
The reason they held off on that, drunk reviews have burps, sorry, they happened, but Morty. But anyway, we work all the way back around to that where she finally says it, but it's such classic Feige stuff. We finally say it and it has new meaning. Because she says, you were supposed to be mythology, but here you are in front of me. You are the Scarlet Witch, which the way she says it leads you to believe that it's something that's been prophesized for 1,000 years. Like this you are supposed to be able to alter reality. You are supposed to be able to do this. And all of a sudden she's here. Is that the combination of somebody who already has magical powers? That it's like if Doctor Strange learns the Time Stone, uses it. Scarlet Witch was young, maybe 16 years old. She's experimented on with what is it? The space stone. The Mind Stone. That's the Mind Stone.
I don't know if that's entirely. Well, yeah, it would be the Mind Stone. So that's why I jotted this one thing
you wrote something down.
Yeah. So this was when they were doing the experimentation scene. So it was the Mind Stone that she was experimented on, and you saw it break away, and there was, the yellow Mind Stone in there, and that is what's in Vision's head.
It's like that future prophecy.
But that's what's in Vision's head.
Yeah.
So there is that innate connection there.
And they have established
why can't she bring life to him in at least some form? It makes sense in at least that regard.
And they also established that in Civil War, which cut back, they did tie into Civil War with their scene that Wanda did get her powers from the Mind Stone, and that's how Vision is Vision. So that's why there is a connection to both of them.
This episode does sort of imply, though, that she had some powers previously.
More than that.
Yeah, the one scene that actually, I'm talking about crying. The one scene that really fucking hit me was
two of them together.
Well, no, when Wanda goes up to Vision, she's like, "I can't feel you." Because remember, come back to Infinity War. I just feel you. Dude, that fucking hurt.
Dude, you know what line really got me, and I wrote it down, was when it's the flashback to Civil War and Vision comes into the room, they're sitting down talking.
Yeah, it's just like, Viz, we talked about this.
People talk about all the time, you and I, and I know you have too, is we have a group of friends that are constantly admonishing Marvel. How do you like this shit? How do you like this shit? And me is like, we always break things down: directing, writing, music, acting. For me, first and foremost is writing. Writing. What's on the script? What's on the page? There was a line in this episode that borderline brought me to tears that is Shakespearean, and it is, what is grief but the perseverance of love?
Yes.
Yeah, that was...
The line of grief is pain because something you loved is gone and you're trying to carry that torch forward is so deeply human nature.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah, that got deep. And Vision is such a... Vision's such a... I'm already... Throughout the whole episode, I want to look at you guys, I was just like, it was...
That line really got me, man.
Yeah.
Like, because...
And I know this shit's fake, I know it's not real, I know it's just a comic book, but you know what? Fuck you. It makes me feel, man. Tyler, anything to add for the final thoughts?
No, it's been a fantastic ride. I'm excited to see how it... And necessarily ends, because that's the fascinating thing here too, is because it's not a series.
Greatest thing about the MCU MCU's it never quite.
But they already said there's no season 2 of WandaVision, so this is it for this story, and that's great. And I'm excited to see how it ends.
So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it as always. Subscribe, like our channel.
Of course,
tell their people for God's sake.
Pound that like button.
Yeah.
Tyler, we end every
Please
episode.
feed the homeless guy because he needs some money.
Tyler, we end every episode the same way with a cheers, and we say Excelsior.
Excelsior.
Excelsior.